Alright, hey guys, we're into game number 3 in this best of 7 clan war between Property Gaming and Lag Gaming out for property, and so far the king of the hill is Blix, spawning in the right upper hand corner on Entombed Valley as the blue Zerg, and his opponent now coming out for Lag Gaming is going to be DCW, oh my god, I combined two letters, DCW Crazed as the red Protoss. Oh my gosh. And it's going to be a PvZ, as you can see. Blix looking on fire right now. Can he get the all kill? Once again, all kills get better, get more points in this league. So if you send out your best player first and get that all kill, it's really beneficial. So Blix might well be the best player on Team Property. And for that matter, the first player sent out by Lag Gaming might have been their best, so it's a give and take, right? You send out your best and they get taken out pretty easily, or well, not easily, but either way, easily or hard, whatever. You're thinking, I don't know about this, but hey, it's another day, or it's another match anyways, and it's going to be a Protoss this time, so different race this time up against Blix. Is Blix's weakness against Protoss? I don't know. His ZVZ is at least really, really good, so if I was the manager or what have you, whoever decides who goes out in a roster for Lag, I would have been like, enough with those ZVZs. I think Blix has got it. I would definitely send out a Protoss or Terran, and it always seems like Protoss is a better sniper against Zerg than Terran, at least recently, thanks to the whole patch and the Terran having to get used to it, and so many Terrans thinking, there's no way I'm ever going to beat a Zerg. The mental side of it, the actual balance side of it, whatnot, has been a little in favor of Zerg recently. So Protoss, definitely something I'd send out next if I was in their shoes. Just me, though. Crazed, not able to get off the block. He did send 2 drones down, though, so that's pretty effective in stopping the block. And he does get the 15 hatch, I believe, down. The probe going to stay in as long as possible, but there is a pull out, so he needs to be very, very careful. He wants to see how many lings, and if there are any lings at all that come out, to be prepared to get the cannon down if he needs it ASAP. If there's 8 lings in the way, he needs to be like, oh god, cannon. If there's only 2, that's normal, get it when you want. He does get it just normal, pretty standard time, but it is the latest you pretty much get it after Pylon and after Gateway. Long map, though, once again, cross position. It's an MLG, I believe, Entombed Valley, so I think cross is forced. And once again, this does mean that the Xel'Naga is a critical part in this game, whether it's going around the Xel'Naga to trick your opponent or just going straight through it and letting your opponent know what's coming. Either way, it's very, very important. 2 gases go up for our Protoss player, very standard though. His Nexus is about done, 75% done about. Zerg player gets that 3rd. I don't know, let me check. He did not get a scout off actually. His probe died, so that's very unfortunate. He definitely wants to see if the 3rd gets down at all. Once again, not entirely telltale that the Zerg is all-inning, or not all-inning that is, if he gets a 3rd. But it's definitely at least a better indication than no 3rd, which at that point as a Protoss player, oh, what are you doing? Actually, a 3rd gas coming up for Craze. Now, Blix's Overlords are not in position to see the gases down here, so he can't really tell what's going on specifically, but he should keep an eye on the front with the lings. Actually, really good positioning right here, probably right outside the cannon's range. Very, very nice, but a Zealot will scare them off. But yeah, just keeping mindful of with his lings, scouting for proxy pylons. Actually, I really like the scout right here. He pretty much sees, really common points of a probe. In fact, even up here, in case it went for the upper, the high ground pylon. So very nicely done by that, but he doesn't actually just send it back home, so never mind. I don't know actually what he sent it back home for. It might have been hotkeyed with the rest of his lings, and that was just a key swipe or whatever. Excuse me. A Zealot does go in. It's going to see what he can do. Make sure there's a 3rd. Once again, he did not see it until now. He sees it, going to try and micro his heart out. 4 lings do generally beat a Zealot, with some micro, but Zealot, can, on the occasion, take out 4 lings. Definitely just going to, Not gonna do a whole lot. That's very rare that one zealot's gonna do a lot of damage unless you proxy 2-gate. Should see more of that, by the way. I haven't seen a whole lot of cheese in these 2 clan wars. I disapprove. I'm just kidding. Cheese is good occasionally, and we saw 1 cheese, so I take it back. Now, additional gas has gone up for Craze. There is also a Stargate right there. I knew that. I don't think the Lings were in position to see it, though, so crap. That's not going to help me. Oh, he did see it. Oh, with his Overlords. That's a pretty nice Overlord right there. It will, of course, die, like, as soon as the Stalker gets to see it. This Overlord lives, can suicide another day if it wants to, and both of these Overlords might survive, actually. It doesn't look like he... Oh, wow, we actually don't know about it yet. But he will, and it'll die, but at least he sees the 3rd, and he sees nothing in here. He hasn't suicided, though, but seeing the 3rd... pretty much means nothing's coming out quite yet. And of course the Stargate, really telltale of what this player is doing. Don't really need to scout that much more, to be honest. Now the Void Ray will get a lot of Overlord kills. Never mind, he skips 1 Overlord entirely. That Overlord, longest Overlord alive, he has like battle stories and stuff to tell. Trying to curse less on stream. Playing it off PG-13 for the kids. What kids? I don't know. Anyways, rocks being broken down. Nice little frontal wall off. Gonna put a cannon right there as expected, and another pylon. You know, pretty clean. And the rocks for Zerg players also going down. And back on his side, he's just, you know, completely prepped for the Stargate opening. Spores everywhere except the main, so I take that back. He probably wants one in the main too, but with proper positioning, he can scare anything that comes his way off before it even decides to go into the main. So I guess that's his plan. And oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright, so there is a fleet beacon on the way. And 2 more Stargates, by the way. Alright, so this went from being like, alright, and then it went into like, oh my god. So mass air. I wonder if he's gonna go carriers or just Void Ray Mothership. Now, luckily I did cast a game like this like yesterday, and I've casted a few games from this other guy who was actually like really interesting to watch. Unfortunately, I don't think he plays that much anymore, I don't think. But he just like went like Mothership really fast and then charged Archon and actually won somehow and made it look reasonable. But I casted a game where he went Void Ray Mothership and it didn't work out so well. But then again, it wasn't on Entombed Valley. Entombed Valley, for Protoss players, you know, that 3rd is very comfortable. You can get it pretty quick and wall off. Like, really easily. Well, not really easily, but pretty easily, especially considering other maps in the map pool for Protoss. So, 3 base, mass air, actually kind of good. 2 base on Cloud Kingdom, trying to get a 3rd of the Mothership, not so good. That's what we saw last time. This Void Ray still taking out some Overlords. It's gonna get 3 right now. And it is harassing the 4th, and there's no queens and no creep spread, so ooh, it actually will force the cancel. Oh my god, it's gonna be a carrier build. Oh my god, what is going on? Alright, here we go. Here's what I'm thinking, alright? Crazed, thinking, alright, Blix is like really good. I think I'm gonna just like really get his goat. I'm gonna do something that's really off the beaten track. And gonna be scouted, by the way. Kind of sucks that it was scouted. But like this was seen in the GSL with the Dongagu Genius Finals, and the carriers were actually almost to that tipping point before Dongagu actually noticed they were being made. So it could have gone a lot worse if you actually watched that game. If you like are watching and then like, oh, I really want to watch that game, and you go see it. It looked like Dongagu was like, whatever, and then just like overran him, but really, it could have been a lot closer given like a few more minutes to the Protoss player. But as it is, Blix just scouted it like so soon. He even saw it being made in the Stargate, so he knows it's carriers. He even saw this thing light up, so he knows it's carriers. It could have been like Phoenix, but like carriers with Phoenix support? I don't think that's a thing. Phoenixes aren't that great against corruptors. So probably thinking, you know, for sure, carriers. And this really doesn't work if Blix actually like is aggressive and gets a nice air mixture. like Corruptors and Fungals, it's very difficult to pull off. If they don't know it's there and you attack, like say before they even get a Spire, like they take forever getting the Hive, that's great. If they attack and they have a Spire but they're getting Broodlords and like don't have Corruptors yet, that's great. If you attack and they have Corruptors prepared with 2 Spires to get double upgrades and etc etc, it's going to be very, very difficult. Blick's really just responding very, very smartly here. Going to try and expand, tried to expand it once more over here. Wasn't able to get it, unfortunately. The Sword Ray actually being a little more of a pest than it really should be. It should be taken out very, very soon. And he should, you know, go ahead and expand once more, or even another time. He's banking a lot of money, but he wants to bank a lot of gas. That's really what the expansions are for. And also just take the map. He's also really focused on his creep spread right now, which is really well, because when they do this type of builds, like the mass air builds, you know, the 4v4 bronze builds, that's what I call them. Not because I think they're bad for choosing those builds, but because that's generally where you see them. And in the hands of a master, it looks really good, but the hands, you know, you usually see it in bronze before. Anyways, it's just, you know, they're going to be so passive, they're not going to do anything to you. They're not going to have timing attacks. They're not going to have DTs. So you just, like, go to town. You get expansions, you get spines, you get queens, you get a lot of infestors and drones, and you just, like, have a ball. And then there's, like, a whole, like, whatever minute, I guess, like, 20 minutes, I suppose, you just butt heads, and whoever has the better composition wins. Which, Fungals are pretty good, I gotta say. And Corruptors are actually really good. And Carriers are not so much. So, usually, the better composition is the Zerg player. I know I'm sounding like I'm just completely counting the Protoss player out, but really, when you scout this, it's a little easy to counter. At least from my experience of watching these builds at the higher levels, I've only seen a few, but they seem to be easily countered. Well, we're about to actually see if they're in fact easily countered. These Lings, wrong place at the wrong time, unfortunately, but they're just going to be fodder. In fact, he could actually just have intentionally done that to open up supply, because he was supply capped. And, well, now he knows the exact composition. He knows he wants Overseers because of the Mothership there. He wants to get a Greater Spire, because the Greater Spire really is for after the heir of the Protoss army is dead, then Broodlords are so effective. You know, you got like 1 billion Corruptors, you gotta make them into something that's more effective against ground, and that would be Broodlords. So that's what it's for. It's for the follow-up. And the upgrades are looking insane for our Zerg player right now. 3 attack on the way for his Lings. I really like that choice. He's gonna be able to deny any other additional bases from the Protoss player, and oh my god, he doesn't have a observer. He doesn't have a robo, so he can't actually see that until he makes a cannon. That's really smart from Blixt, and he even catches like the only ground army that Crazed has. Bye-bye ground army. That was pretty much it. He also could have potentially just used that as fodder to make more carriers, because he was also supply blocked, and I think that's what it was, because he immediately made 3 carriers. Oh, High Templars. This could get interesting. If he made a lot of High Templars, I think that would actually make a really good composition. If you can get a lot of feedbacks off, you know, obviously the Infestors aren't going to be nearly as good. So, Only 2 though, so not going to be a whole lot of damage. And he does once again deny the setup of the 4th Dark Templar Shrine is on the way, and at this point, since he's maxed, he's going to be start banking on the gas, so that's perfectly fine. Start harassing a little bit. Unfortunately, he did open with Stargate, so spores are already out, as well as spine crawlers. So DTs are going to have a very difficult time actually finding an opening. A little unfortunate follow-up for the specific game. And he's making sure to do it at each base too, especially at such a long game, where Zerg players are allowed to just think, you know, sit back, relax, and think of what's going to happen next. They're not like too busy trying to deal with a timing attack or multi-pronged harass and stuff like that. They're going to think, what's the next step here? He's maxed, he needs to do some damage, DTs. That's what you're going to think. And he probably already thought that, and that's why he's so well prepared. These spines alone could probably take out this little army. He did do this, but that's not really going to help. Spines alone, like I said, are good enough. And I was correct. He lost a lot of gas right there and let the Lynx through anyways. So just back to passive, passive, passive. Unfortunately for us, I, for one, really want to see the battle go down. I know that Crazed, at this point, he's definitely lost the surprise factor. He's also lost the overwhelming factor. So now he's more on the, this is what I got. I gotta, you know, I better, like, do it right. So he's gonna want to, like, draw it out, get a huge macro game going. Stuff like that. And this could end up going into like a really interesting game. If Craze had attacked or forced the issue with his current army, I feel like he would have killed Crazed's army. I feel like he would have. Right now, it's kind of going into that position where it's more like the 40-minute long game after they've done all their timing attacks and regular, you know, ground-to-ground army stuff, and then it goes into crazy half-base versus half-base. You know, like that one GSTL game that was so awesome last season. I forget who it was by too. But it went into that. It was like base, you know, ground versus ground, normal stuff. Then it went into a really long game. He got carriers and Stargate a little earlier than you usually saw. And then he got like a lot of carriers and there was a lot of fungals. It was a really awesome game. That can happen. Actually, before I continue talking about that, there's a War Prism. And... well, actually, this is pretty well defended. He probably can... no, never mind. He's going for the Spore, so that's actually really smart by him. What you should do at this point, when they're actually allowed to do that much, to warp in that many Dark Templars at a time, you really need to start putting Overseers over your base, because, hey, Dark Templars can't attack air. So... yep, actually he completely nullifies it too, so, and takes out the Warp Prism. But yeah, so back to my original point about the half versus half. It's gotten to that point where it's just skipped like the first 30 minutes of a game where it's normal entirely and just went to the, you know, half and half map, Zerg versus Protoss, and Infestors versus Carriers. It can turn into a really awesome game, especially if the Protoss player actually has an economy to back trading with a Zerg player. It can be a really great game. If he was still on 3 bases, oh my god, he would be so screwed. What was that flicker? I need to... I don't know what that was. There was a flicker, I don't know if you saw it. But there was. I'm not going crazy. That's probably my XSplit saying, you just casted another 30-minute game and you're doing it again? Like, I don't know, bro. That's probably it. Lings just everywhere denying these bases, you know, really causing a problem, at least, you know, additional however long it takes to build a cannon to go ahead and get rid of those to stop the Nexus, so really like it. Zerg player just taking the map. I mean, all the map. Creep with his army. Oh my god, look at that army. Oh, Jesus. Oh my god. I don't care what race I'd be against that army. That is scary as hell. Oh, Jesus. I mean, that is impressive. Even got some Broodlords in there, which is really not necessary at this point. I think he's overestimating how many ground units his opponent might have, or he's underestimating how powerful Corruptors are against, or he's overestimating, rather, how powerful Corruptors are against Carriers. That damn gnat is still here, by the way, so that's, if you hear clapping, that's what it is. Changelings on the map, why not? You have like a billion Overseers anyways. 104 Interceptors, 82 Probes, oh my god, and he is allowed to get away with it, so, I mean, so, it looks very overwhelming for the Zerg right now, but looking at the units, it's actually, it's gonna come down to like positioning, to spreading, some nice vortexes. Oh, it's gonna be so difficult to cast too. Like, I don't even know what's gonna go on. Everything's gonna be like all blurry and mixed up, and there's gonna be like a billion changelings probably. Oh, I can't wait. But yeah, 57 drones only for a Zerg player, and that's because he used a lot in the spores. Oh my god, a lot of spores and a lot of spines. So he actually should think about raising that number up. Well, maybe not. He has actually quite a bank. Oh my god, the Protoss player's bank! Oh my god, what is this game? This is... this is like, I'm so not used to, like, casting really, really high-level stuff and then going this long without really doing anything. And, oh, we're gonna see an engagement. Nope, getting rid of probes. That's so anticlimactic. Oh, we are gonna see engagement. What is he doing, though? Oh my god. Did you see how clumped up that was? Oh my god. That would have been a disaster in the making. Oh. I would have had a minute heart attack if I was that Protoss player. I mean, I had one as a caster. I can't imagine what I would have done if I was a Protoss player. And if that had gotten fungled, I would have just, like, cried and, like, uninstalled StarCraft 2 probably. I'm actually losing my voice. It's great. So much casting, and it's been such a long day. I'm losing my voice. I'm good though. Oh, I am not getting up in the morning tomorrow to go to the gym. That is not happening. It's like 1 a.m. right now. Oh, finally we're gonna have an engagement. It's gonna be so effing cool. Here it goes. He's actually a little clumped up, which is really, really bad. A vortex goes off and actually gets a whole ton of corruptors. The Archons are going in. No fungals to stop them. And the supplies have actually stagnated right now because so many isn't vortexes. And that corruptor was like doing dances right there for the interceptors. And oh, here comes the massacre. Here it comes. He doesn't actually move his corruptors. Why doesn't he move his corruptors? Oh, I don't know why he didn't move his corruptors. That was really bad. But they do still survive, and so many queens coming in for the transfuses. Where were they a minute ago? They came out of nowhere, but the transfuse is really helping out right there. And without Archons to deal slash damage, carrier's not that good. Not that good against corruptors. Corruptor Infestor Queen army against carriers. Oh my god, are you dead, Protoss player? He needs to get something ASAP. 4 Archons are on the way. The mothership goes down, but there are 4 Archons finally here to save the day, but Fungals will also save the Zerg's day. So he will go back, and he has fortified, actually, his position here, which is really, really cool to see. I mean, he has all these static structures, so why not use them? Oh my god, just 21 Corruptors? Are you kidding? Oh my god, in this game, I swear to god, if this is corrupted on XSplit, I will uninstall StarCraft 2. It'll be so sad. But yeah, 23 on the way. He's actually still only at 60 drones. As you can see, his bank is completely depleted, so that's why I was kind of like, oh, I really think you should get more drones. Like, he's gonna want another bank after the engagement. Yeah, that's what happened pretty much. Anyways, another engagement does go down, and it does seem like he's gonna win this one. The Corruptors are actually just filtering in right here, but he has so many Corruptors. The unit count needs to be up like this. Say 5 carriers right now with just 20 corruptors. I think the corruptors win. Like, I don't, like, am I right? I don't know. I think I'm right. They do win officially. And what does our Protoss player do behind this? He makes 8 more carriers. I don't think that's the right response. Like 8 corruptors to 8 carriers. Well, 8 additional corruptors, that is. So that's 28 corruptors to 8 carriers. Like, what are you gonna do? What, you're gonna have like the sickest micro possible? I don't know. I don't know, man. And these like infestors haven't done anything. Like, I thought they'd be the backbone of this army, and really they're like, nah, we'll just hang out and the corruptors will do a whole lot, and they really did. And these broodlords actually come into effect. Like I said, once the air army of the Protoss is down, the broodlords are really very powerful. It's just that I thought he'd make them after the engagement. These were actually pre-made. So that's why I was like, Anyways, I don't think this actually done anything. I've been keeping my eye on it. I don't think it did. It didn't. Which is really disappointing because he has so many minerals. Like, mass sell it. Oh my god, that fungal. Oh, those fungals. Now the infestors are like, this is my time to shine. Oh my god. This would require, like, Blix severely A-moving into nothing, and then not targeting the carriers, and then diving into an Archon toilet to win this for the Protoss player. Like, Blix just rolled 2 armies. Protoss Air is actually not that good if it doesn't surprise you. If it doesn't have, like, stuff to help it out, mass carrier is not the best strat. I don't know what to say. Like, I kind of called it like 15 minutes ago. It's just like now it's come to fruition or whatever. that's pretty much what happened. And unfortunately, it wasn't quite as epic as that GSTL game, because I think he, like, in the GSTL he actually had High Templars, he had some Zealots, he had some DTs, stuff to actually take out the Fungals, and some Archons to add to splash damage. Crazed relied a lot on just 4 Archons and a lot of carriers, which isn't quite the same. High Templars probably would have helped. Archons, these Corruptors were definitely clumping up a lot. So that's something that he could have done, potentially, to make it just a little more effective. But as it is, look, he even admits it, right? Like, I don't know why you would do this if you hadn't tested it beforehand in a clan war, but apparently he was like, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to go carriers. And then found out that, yeah, they are not that great without the surprise factor, unfortunately. And that is that game. I can't even, like, I've been explaining it, actually, throughout the entire cast, so I won't go ahead and recap. Instead, I'll just say this is for the URTL, the Underrated Team League. This was game 3 in this clan war, and currently Property Blix has been on the King of the Hill for the past 3 games, and we're going into game number 4. This could be an all-kill for Property against Lag. We will see in just a moment.